danger that makes you wanna hide. When the cards are stacked against you and you're standing on the edge, now's the time, now's the time. Think about all the dreams you keep inside. Think about all the ones you love. I know this beating heart will be my guide. I know that we can overcome. When the world's so cold and we're losing hope, I need her, I need her. When the darkness comes and we're overrun, yeah, I need her. That's when we need each other. 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 When you're falling faster and don't know where you are, you feel the danger closer than your heart. When the weight is getting heavy and the future is unsteady, close your eyes, close your eyes. Think about all the dreams you keep inside. Think about all the ones you love. I know this beating heart will be my guide. I know that we can overcome. When the world's so cold and we're losing hope, I need her, I need her. When the darkness comes and we're overrun, yeah, I need her. That's when we need each other. 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 When it's coming at you like monsters in the night, and you feel the danger that makes you wanna hide. When the cards are stacked against you and you're standing on the edge, now's the time, now's the time. Think about all the dreams you keep inside. Think about all the ones you love. I know this beating heart will be my guide. I know that we can overcome. When the world's so cold and we're losing hope, I need her, I need her. When the darkness comes and we're overrun, yeah, I need her. That's when we need each other. 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 When you're falling faster and don't know where you are, you feel the danger closer than your heart. When the weight is getting heavy and the future is unsteady, close your eyes, close your eyes. Think about all the dreams you keep inside. Think about all the ones you love. I know that need it. I need it. When the darkness comes and we're overrun, yeah, I need it. That's when we need each other. 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 When it's coming at you like monsters in the night, and you feel the danger that makes you wanna hide. When the cards are stacked against you and you're standing on the edge, now's the time, now's the time. Think about all the dreams you keep inside. Think about all the ones you love. I know this beating heart will be my guide. I know that we can overcome. When the world's so cold and we're losing hope, I need it. I need it. When the darkness comes and we're overrun, yeah, I need it. That's when we need each other. 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 When you're falling faster and don't know where you are, you feel the danger closer than your heart.
What's going on, Bringers of Shadow? Thank you so much for hanging out. Oh my gosh, guys, this is, or has to be, probably one of the best expansions that we've seen. I want to shout out Scrith004. Welcome to the workforce. Thanks for hitting that subscribe button. Chronicles for his 2-month membership in a row. Assassin has become a member. Carlos has become a member. Sherry's become a member. Robar has become a member. Weedelme, member 2 months in a row. Matthew, 2 months in a row. RG, 2 months in a row as membership. Sniper Punk is followed over on Twitch and subscribed. Richard Glenn, Naomi, Faley, Micaiah, Jim, Ronnie, welcome to the workforce. And what a list. What a list, guys. Alright, let's money. Let's win money. What's up, guys? How's it going? I'll turn on the game music. Hopefully you all have been having a phenomenal time. A little bit different tone of the music here. We've got we got a lot of content we got to run. Got a lot of content we run. What's up, Michael? Really heavy-handed there. I'm just trying to shout it out. I'm in love. I'm in love with this game, and I'm having a really good time. And honestly, you're just coming in hot. 31 Edwards, what's up? Timmers Chronicles. What's going on, guys? And Night Song has subscribed. Welcome to the workforce, Night Song. Thanks, guys. Can we get some hearts in chat? Some emotes in chat for Doontastic, for that epic dollar cheer. Also, this is community game night, and as such, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just jump into Discord. If anybody wants to come hang out in voice, if you don't feel like talking, that's okay. You can come in and listen as well. We're gonna be hanging out in the chill room. So Walt is asking an excellent question: spoilers or no? So we're gonna be doing roulettes. I'm not going to intentionally be doing spoilers. I am not necessarily. I think we want to give at least another couple days. We're going to be doing a spoiler cast this Thursday with Ruby from Gather Together. And I think that's when we're going to kind of break our kind of forced embargo on spoiler chat. And Lamas, welcome. You're hanging out already in the chill room. And so that's where I'm going to kind of keep it right there. So, however, if we get into a roulette and it puts us into some content, that's your risk, right? Like at this moment, you know, you run at your own risk regarding what people are going to talk about. If asked directly, I might put the question to chat if we want to kind of go into it. I don't know where everybody is in the story. I think you know, there has been a good length of it, and I'm getting some weird sound on the in voice. So if you're in voice and you got noise going on, whatnot, feel free to move to push to talk. And I got some watermelon, guys. What's up, Nero?
Yeah, that might have been me.
Okay.
Sorry, I was finding my mic, but yeah, I'm the one that's been bothering you for advice and everything. Thanks for getting back to me in a timely manner, though.
Oh, thanks, man. I try. Like I legit try to get to like those times where I'm like busy because life is life, and that is what it is. And it's like, and then I come back and like I see a lot of DMs. I'm like, all right, got to work down the list. So we're gonna start with a 50, 60, 70. This is community game night, guys. This is about us as a community playing together. We're on the Aether Data Center. So if you're on Aether, come and join. I'm going to put in a password, and that password I'll give out in a second. And we're, I'm just going to run through roulettes. We're going to just keep playing the game, and we're going to go from there. I see Randy's joined, and Lamas, is that you who's saying hi? All right, okay. Work 2 game live on the YouTubes. Come join. Whoop. And we're going to do a private party, just so you guys put in the password. 9999, the theoretical max limit for damage. It was the maximum they could show, even though you could technically limit break it. What's up, BB? Has subscribed. Welcome to Warcraft. And I haven't. Oh, good. We got some hearts. 31 Edwards, Michael, Sith. Giving the love there. Thank you so much for dropping hearts. Corvidil dropping the hearts in chat. Thank you very much.
I wish I was still in the game. I didn't do my expert samurai yet.
Oh, see, I've done expert today. So, like, my plan is, and we're going to be putting out a guide on the channel real soon on it, but I'm going to hit 50, 60, 70, leveling, trials, screw main scenario. You're not doing it, or at least I'm not. Maybe, and then if we got time, alliance, maybe we'll do normal. And then after that, just really whatever people are like kind of feeling, because like I you know, if we're getting XP, that's exactly what I need to do. Joshua dropping in the heart eyes, dropping in so many emotes. You are awesome. Thank you so much, Joshua. Oh sure, man,
I got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Leveling Gunbreaker from 60 to 70. What do you recommend doing?
So, essentially, typically advice I hear people give is like, oh, spam X. Never spam one piece of content in this game. You're limiting yourself. You're going to increase your risk of burnout. There are people, though, that can do it without any problem. I am not one of those. I need spice of life variety, right? So I would say, as a Gunbreaker, 60 to 70, hit your 50, 60, 70. Your leveling, your trial, and if you have time, your alliance raid. Never miss a day. It's kind of like leg day. You want to hit leg day. So you want to hit those roulettes and really kind of pound that home. And from there, then you want to look at a couple things. You want to look at anything that's going to be giving you XP where there's a joy equivalent. Because regardless, there's a grind. This is an RPG. Grinds, you know, this game has grinds. However, you want to try to figure out ways to balance that out to kind of mitigate that. So what I mean by that is then also like maybe run the highest level dungeon you can. Just to get some experience, but maybe like toss it up, maybe go into a little like Heaven on High for a little bit. You have that from 61 to 70, kind of use that to spice it up, just a little bit. And then also I would say Fates, but once you want to do Fates when you get into Shadowbringers, I haven't found a reason to do them other than that. And depending on, since you're Gunbreaker, you're gonna have priority queue for tank. Also pick up your daily world hunts. So go out to Kugani, pick up your hunt board. And use that, especially if you have a wait in the queue. Guys, we are looking for just one more DPS if you want to run with us. Password is 9999. We're doing the level 50, 60, 70 roulette for community game night. Also, we are in open voice chat if you guys want to come and hang out. What's up, Clink?
Hey, I'm hopping on right now.
Clink is hopping on. All right.
Hey, Clink. Well, my main is a DPS samurai. That's my main job. I would just
Yeah.
I actually take the dungeon for the first time in Final Fantasy history as a take, and I didn't do bad at all. Nobody died.
Nice, dude. That's
So,
good.
That's good.
I mean, because I'm a fan of Gunbreaker. I really wish it was a DPS, but it's a take. But I was like, you know what? Never say you can't do
It's
something.
a blue DPS. Well, let's just correct the record.
Yeah,
Tanks are just blue DPS now.
Yeah, blue TPS. But I was like, never say you cannot do something in this game until you try it. Because I tried taking, I'm like, well, it's easier than I thought. I can pull these enemies, but I still got to get used to it. But I'm learning.
Good. That's really what it's all about, is about like putting in the time and just trying to learn, hopefully learning and having fun. Now, Dennis actually says, and thank you, Dennis, he says Beast Tribes are about a 15 to 20 minute kind of time to fill a decent amount of experience, and you do get your dailies for that. So go check out your daily Beastmen as well, because if you haven't, even if you're at max rank for them, it's a really good piece of experience that gets you out in the world, and the quests are really pretty don't call tanks blue DPSs. That's what they are, Michael. It's like we had green DPSs for a while. They've shifted more to healers. A lot of healers are upset by that change. Now, there was a question I saw, and what's up, Chili? Jeffrey says, Jeffrey Perez asks, is Monday night always community game night? That is our goal, Jeffrey. There's only a few times that we've missed it. Typically, we try to communicate if we're not going to make community game night. But Mondays is the goal, and that's actually going to be primarily here on YouTube. Why we been doing a lot of grinding for the expansion. Most of that's happening over on Twitch, and the link is in the description if you guys like Twitch at all. But as far as it goes, like, yeah, if we're Monday nights are kind of like kind of a thing for us that we really enjoy. The downside is obviously when there's a patch, an update, and the game goes offline early, we might do another game. And it's not always Final Fantasy XIV. We've done Super Smash Brothers, many other games as well. What's up, Land Killer? And Clink. All right, we got our 4-man. We're jumping in to our duty roulette. 50, 60, 70. Make sure you got your food on. Get that extra XP. If it's below level 70, you can equip the earring.
Well,
as it still works. Hey, Sparta. So in chat right now, guys, we got Clink, Llamas, Leland, Nero, Randy, and Sparta. So guys, again, open. Link is in the description for Discord. And come on and listen to me chew watermelon in real time.
Yeah, I've been making some friends all day. The people I saw at the house.
Yeah?
Yeah. See, in the game, my name is Mike K.
Yeah. Are you said you might be considering changing your name just because sometimes people will be like, oh, like this is my name.
Yeah, I'm gonna change
my
it.
TV controller. Trying to find my TV controller.
What's happening with your controller, Spider?
I'm trying to find my TV controller. I'm like, where the heck is my TV controller?
Yeah, I like the animation and having a combo skill for AOE rotation. So much, at least a little bit more enjoyable. So has anybody like a question for chat? Like, okay, so Zillis is saying, how do I get into the PvP arena? That kicks off at level 30. Like all the different quests should take you out to the the zone. Why am I drawing a blank on its name?
It's
Wolf's Den.
Basically, yeah, Wolf's Den. There's two ways you can get to it. You can either go to
It's connected to Morbray Dry Docks, right?
Yeah, Morbay Dry Docks, and you can also go to the one of the boat areas in Lindsay.
Oh, good point. Yeah, because it's always interesting those with all the boats stuff. Like,
but once you go there, you don't have. It's not convoluted because there's literally a case right.
Am I over pulling?
Yeah, I need to.
You'll know when you die.
Yeah, it's like that's good point, Randy. It's like that's how I kind of look at it. Oh yeah, dude. I pretty much shifted kind of and did more of main tank focus in Stormblood. I did finally return to my summoner, which was a real joy. But ultimately, I've been really actually enjoying healing this expansion. So it's kind of fun, like how that all works out.
I enjoyed Astray. It's not as fun as like a black mage, but nothing's as fun as black mage to me, at least.
What feels like a black mage, sorry?
No, I was saying I enjoy Astro, but it's just like I actually abandoned a trial roulette earlier
Oh yeah.
because I got the worst luck of the world.
Yeah, we was talking about that.
I got Titiana.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I've been smoking.
I love that fight.
I love it. I love the fight, but yeah, there were a lot of new people.
Sorry, Randy. Can you increase your mic volume?
Yeah, you told me you was in the free company telling us the circumstances behind that.
Yeah, I literally, like, the main problem that I had, and this is why I abandoned, because I wasn't going to abandon.
Okay.
I had okay, I'm a made black mage. I know how to black mage. I know how to keep my DPS up and avoid major points of AoE. I had a black mage standing in 2 AoEs at one point. And I was feeding this black mage
I thought the
hard.
phrase is healers adjust, right? Am I wrong?
No, this is okay. This was during the second ad phase.
Yeah.
So when the ads of the giant behemoth, no matter, you could be a tank. You could be a tank with what is it, 100k, like almost 150k HP. You will die if you take two of those AoEs at once.
Good day.
Well, Sparta, you know what your problem was, right? You was in a party with people who use jump potions.
Oh, Michael, I'm fun to play with, man.
Well,
Don't ban me. Don't ban me yet, man.
Yep.
I'll play, like, if you're healing. Like, I'll adjust to what the healer wants to do.
Yeah. But no, this is my thing. Jump potions do not cause that problem. It's players that use jump potions that then don't take time and go do, like, okay, the best way to learn a job, if even, the new jobs, the level 60 jobs, the ones that start at level 60, the best way to learn them, set up a good hotbar layout, and then just go run Sastasha, then go run Pantara, then go run, like, literally, go up through the level in dungeons.
Yeah. Jump potions don't make
Jump
potions don't make good or bad players. They just make more of who people are.
That make
Right. It's kind of like
players.
like I've always kind of said, like, money doesn't make you good or bad. It just makes you more of who you are. So if you're a good person, you'll do good things with money. If you're not a good person, you'll not do good things with money. It's like it's not a factor on, like, yeah. So skill isn't really. I mean, if you're gonna go learn the game, you're gonna go learn the game. Whether you use a jump potion or not. It's really kind of, it's still about that personal choice. Heck, I missed
By
that.
the way, Sparta,
Mm-hmm.
I going back to what we were talking about last night, I made 1.1 million.
Ooh, like, Chris has made like over $4 million, 4 million gil today. It's been nuts.
Yeah.
God. I haven't made any today. Today was my off day because work. Yeah, so you started doing it now, and people
No,
don't realize.
I just got online. I literally just got off work after a 12-hour shift.
Yeah, none of my stuff sold, but I didn't go super hard into it. But we've just been trying to tell people to do that. But I was telling him how to do Chris's trick. He did his on Crystal.
Yeah, I don't like jump potions, Michael, personally. I think there's better ways to kind of handle it. But it ends up, I think, being the easy and profitable way. So it ends up winning out. And that's why we've seen it. And so,
Hey, Brian.
Yo, what's up?
Y'all running relay?
Yeah. We're doing, it's community game night.
You need a healer?
Right now, we actually got a 4. So what we'll do is after we run this, I'll just disband, put in a password, and pick whoever needs to go. And then when we get to the 8-man stuff, that'll be a lot easier.
Yeah.
I kind of got a stupid question. Well, it's not stupid for me because I'm learning tank, but what's a blue tank?
So blue is the color symbol for tanks. So you have like DPS are red, green are healers, and then blue are tanks. And so that's why I kind of been saying like, tanks are really a blue DPS now. Because I've always thought like from a tank perspective, it's pretty straightforward. There's anxiety induced with being a tank, right? Because there's an expectation, whether it's set or implied. There's still this expectation that you're going to be playing the game a certain way, and that's where kind of the anxiety comes from. But ultimately, you face the bad guy away from the party, and you lead the charge. So, and then you mitigate with like cooldowns as necessary. Now, before you kind of had to balance like hate generation and stuff like that. In Shadowbringers, I literally. Just like we would play a game in Stormblood called Try to Rip the Hate. And it was fun because it was like, okay guys, like I want you to try and rip hate for me. And let's play as just, like a way to entertain ourselves as tanks. That's at least how I did it. Now, like, I don't think anybody could rip hate. I don't think anybody, if they wished to, they could rip
Brian.
hate. What's that?
I'm trying to think. Can I lay stuff in the outside of the house? Because I just bought something off the market board.
You want to put something outside the house? Go for it.
Let me see. Wait. Can't
So,
place any more
Brian?
items. Choose an item, Brian.
Somebody said
palm
something
free.
I want to make.
Go ahead.
I was just curious. Is are spoilers still up?
So,
Yeah. One more week.
I'm going to say, one more week
to
to actively talk about it. If we get put
Okay.
into a queue, into a fight that's spoilery, then that's, like, you're still on the internet. I'm not going to sit here and abandon duty because, like, oh my gosh, we got to fight or whatever. But, foundationally, I'm not, whoa, what? Whoa. We got
Wow,
Vay with the
that's
dollar
nice.
super chat. And then, Kokusuma follows it up with a $20 super chat cheer. Thank you both. That is fantastic. Hearts in chat, guys. Hearts, hearts, hearts. Show these guys some love for supporting the channel. So, we're doing a spoiler cast with Ruby from Gather Together on Thursday. And so, in my mind, I think Friday is open for
Happy's doing his
real discussion.
I think Tuesday. I think Happy's doing his on Tuesday.
This Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like, he was so adamant last week about no spoilers. He took out text chat. He took out everything. He was like, no spoilers.
If somebody
Brian,
asks a question and the only way to answer that is with a spoiler, that will be answered. So if there,
Spoiler.
it's I am not actively going to be like, yo guys, like. But I'm gonna say this: this is the best Final Fantasy game probably in the last 20 years. Like,
hands down.
Hands down.
Yes.
Don't even try to label it like, MMO.
20?
Like, for an MMO.
No,
Get your
no.
for MMO out of here.
Are you sure
Get
you
your
wanna
for
say
MMO
20,
out of
though?
my conversation because that is BS. Go ahead.
Are you saying? Are you sure you want to say 20? Because that includes Final Fantasy XII.
I'm getting triggered.
I love 12. I love 12. I'm just saying that I think this is probably one of the best. I'm not saying the best. One of the best in the last 20 years.
Yes. Brian,
The story isn't finished. I don't think I can come in and say whether it's better than 12 or not because we still have a couple.
Finally in the epilogue, by the way. My paladin's little lady.
I'm going to because it's game night. We got a lot of people interested. I'm going to go ahead and just spam, and then I'm going to do a party finder. And so again, we're going to be just doing first come first serve tonight, just because of the volume. And well, if we need to bring in more streams, though, I guess that really is a conversation to have offline in that way, like because I don't know how I could fit them in. All right, so duty. We're doing leveling roulette now. Let's see here, and then we're gonna do password. We're gonna keep it at 9999. I am rocking the tank. You can find us in Party Finder. Come in and join, and we'll soon be getting into the 8-man stuff content. Looks like we got Sparta coming in, rocking the heels.
Yeah, Brian, you need to remove one item from the house, from the stuff.
I need to. You need to remove one, or I need to remove one.
Yeah. I'd prefer if you did it, cause.
Okay. I'll come there.
Yeah. Oh, and you'll like what I just bought. Like.
I'm excited, dude. You're like. I love it when somebody else decorates my house. I'm not gonna lie.
It's the same thing I bought last expansion. If you remember what I bought last expansion.
Final Fantasy XI is incredible, Michael. And they literally need to do something with it. And whatever this 20th year plan is, that's what they got to do. So what do we need to remove? Oh, a new striking dummy?
No, we just. Yep, I bought a new striking dummy.
Housing.
I would keep the 50. I'd keep the 60, or the 50 and the 70. But I would just remove an item.
Doesn't matter.
I don't want. Yeah.
Like, do we want to keep that one for younger players? Let's see here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Cause like.
We got some island palms, expanded duties permit.
That's your retainer.
Let's just get rid of that. How do I get rid of them?
You right click and you hit remove.
Oh, there it goes. I thought I was right clicking, but it wasn't working. All right. Retainer removed.
Please.
Thank you very much. Very much. All right, we are looking for one more DPS. We got Sparta and we got Clink.
Hey, now we have an 80 dummy in the house.
The thing I like about this expansion is, though, Brian, I haven't been excited about this expansion since the Crystal's Prophecy and Chains of Viridian.
Yes.
And we're full.
Chains. I've been playing through that story as I kind of go back and dip my toe into 11, and holy crap. 11 was my first MMO, and I have such fond memories of it. And honestly, that's where I think, if I'm going to be critical of 14 as a product, I really hope that we see more sandboxy, type elements like in 11, and that's where I think I'm hopeful the next exploratory thing comes into play.
Yeah, and that's my thing. I hope they learn. Like, this is my take on it. I hope they've learned from 11 and don't try to just replicate 11.
Sorry, guys. I hear
because they were trying for a while. And what happened in 1.0? Because 1.0 was basically them trying to replicate 11, and oh yeah, it failed.
Guys, I've been meaning to ask a question. So I joined not too long ago, and I'm trying to. I just finished the MSQ, and I'm trying to get into the next step, maybe raiding. What is like the next thing that you should do? You should try to find
so you're
static,
done with Shadowbringers.
do extremes.
You're done with the Shadowbringers, correct?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so your first thing you should do is get a full set. Okay, because we have so many jobs, choose what job you're going to raid as.
Yeah,
I mean, you can have alts. You can have, someday I might want to, but choose your primary. Then make sure that primary is geared with the highest gear possible, which currently is 450?
440, I thought.
Yeah, 440, which is the tombstone gear that you buy in Gilmore.
Yeah.
Because there's no other gear. There's no crafting gear or anything. Hey, Brian, party's full.
I mean more like socially speaking. Like, do you
yeah.
search for a static now? Do you do extremes?
You can, there's pug groups. They'll just like join Party Finder, say like, hey, I'm looking for a static. Hey, I'm looking to pug. Like you got 4 weeks. You got 3 weeks now till Savage comes out. But your raid teams, most of your dedicated raid teams, they're already set. Like most of your high dedicated raid teams probably got set up before Shadowbringers even came out.
So basically, try my luck in Wild
Party Finder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll
Sorry
get
about that,
lucky.
guys. I'm back. I heard the dog barking, and I was like, "Oh, please don't go wake up the kids. Please don't wake up the kids." All right. Boom shakalaka. All
Now,
right.
the only reason I asked about spoilers, Brian, is because there's so much I want to talk about. And it's just like,
I think next Monday will be a real perfect time to have kind of a community game spoiler chat.
I got
Yeah,
so
I'm
many
going to
people
see
asking me
what I
questions.
can
Yeah.
find while packing. Maybe I get lucky. I'm not looking like for a savage group because I want to do it as a tank.
Yeah.
So I don't think I can just bite down since the beginning, go for, trying to get the what's the hardest content? What was it?
Sorry, what?
Extreme? No, it was
Ultimate.
not savage. Ultimate.
Ultimate.
Yeah,
I'm not
oh, man.
going to be able to do that since the beginning. So I'm trying to, but get my footing. But
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
if you're
know
just getting your
anybody.
footing in, just try the extremes. The extremes are always the pace setters for the
Yeah.
expansion.
We're gonna our goal is for Tuesday nights to be. Oh, sorry, we got somebody hitting the halo. Our goal is for Tuesday nights to actually be our raid night as a in a slight difference from community game night where it's like the chat will be people who are in the fight so we can call out mechanics and things like that, and our hope is to kind of do more progression and do like more around kind of the raid scene. I've been doing a little text and it's a really fun fight, and I really hope that this expansion, because last expansion Stormblood, it was like so much IRL stuff. I was like, all right, I'm just out. I am literally just out. I can't. Whoa! Sean Rivers with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Sean. Can we get some hype in chat, some hearts in chat for Sean? Supporting the channel, hyping us up for tonight, for community game night.
I got a question.
Oh man, glams suck, Michael. I get it. I get how it's the collection game of it, but a part of me just is based and baked into like the gear lust, for lack of a better term. Just the hunt for like, oh, how'd you get that piece of gear? You still have it somewhat, but being that that is kind of the best. And then also like 11 handled gear a lot differently though, right? Gear had a much longer life. It had way different properties, and honestly, I don't think it's 14's fault. I think it's matchmaking fault. Like at the end of the day, when you look at matchmaking, they've simplified it in a way and I like it from its convenience, but it does remove a lot of player agency. It does remove a lot of choice when it comes to like the balancing of the numbers. We're burning things down. Like the pre-content for Shadowbringers, like these things melt. So I think whatever adjustments they did, they adjusted this to like.
This is the ARR.
Right, but I'm still like wrecking.
Yeah, I know. But I was gonna ask this.
Yeah.
Like, you're in chat, and I'm not sure if the other winning party is in chat, or if they're a part of the.
Some
community.
people are. We've got like Jaster and Leland and like a bunch of people hanging out.
Do all of y'all have past this? Like, is y'all's levels past this? And like y'all have something past this unlocked? Cause like, why would we get this in a full pre-made? Like, give us something of higher range.
Sorry, give us something higher range?
Yeah, like, give us, like, a 60, sorry, Brian, sorry, just noticed your, help. I'm trying to DPS.
Freaking astrologians over here now.
Quit playing with your cards, man.
Stop playing some little card game over there.
No, I'm not. I'm actually DPS.
Little high-low. New astrologian game, high-low.
But no, it's like, give us a piece of content that's closer to our level, because we get more experience from it. Oh yeah. Brian?
Yeah?
We are below 60. Do you have your earring on?
I do.
Yes.
Thank you though, but always a good pro reminder.
I remember we ran the trial and it was like, oh yeah, this is 60 content. Okay.
Yeah, I have to say, like,
matter.
I really feel like the early game is the true end game for a lot of new players. It's like just get through 30, just get to 50, just get past 2.55, and then you've done the hardest bit of content in this game. 52 card pickup. 31 Edward says, fantastic.
Yeah, it's like, and I tell people that I have a friend. He's gonna start playing it. Well, he wants to try it first,
Yeah.
but I told him, like, if you start playing it, your first goal, if you sub, get to cap.
Get to cap.
Get to cap. That is your first goal.
So I was watching Skillup's stream just like a little bit ago before kind of going live, and he's about to cross over into Heaven's Word. And one of the things I'm really appreciating about like his investment in time in the game, as opposed to, I forget somebody else who was like bashing on the game recently. They ended up taking the video down. What's his name though? Like I reached out to him to come on the podcast because I was like, well, let's talk. You know, it's like I don't care if you hate the game. Honestly, the game's not going to be for everybody. You know, I happen to like it. I do not intend to make people like, you do not have to agree with me. That's cool. Like, I'll still, you know. But, anyway, I reached out to him, Peon or something like that. Lazy Peon. And to invite him on the podcast. But, so, like, in contrast, it's like, so, like,
Ryan.
he jumps, he skipped Heaven's Word. Oh, do we want to actually do mechanics?
Yeah.
I didn't know if we needed to. Like, I'm just like, I feel like I'm just like,
we kind of would like it if you would get the aggro.
Sure. I'm just thinking, like, right now these enemies feel like butter, and I feel like I'm like a freaking fire mage. Just like, you know, just, I'm showing up and everything's just melting. Like, I didn't even use a skill, guys. Like, this is nuts.
Hey, Brian, have you tried Gunbreaker?
No, Chris drafted Gunbreaker and Dancer, so he's actually working on his Gunbreaker right now.
I'm actually playing Gunbreaker right now. What do you got questions for?
Yeah, Leland's playing it.
Cause I was gonna say I would love to see your hotbar for the PlayStation controller or that.
Chris is going to be putting together the controller guides for like his part of the draft, and I'm going to be doing mine for mine half of the draft. So it's like basically you should be getting guides much faster than what people had to wait for through for Stormblood. So do not worry.
Hold on, Chris is in the chat right now. The other guy that, like your partner, the one that be.
No, he's in class right now. He wasn't able to make it tonight because he's got he's finishing up some, I guess, courses because he's been doing real estate. So that's kind of like we both home office, which allows us to like, oh, how do you guys make videos? Well, it's really nice and easy when I don't have to commute. Let's see here. So he's so he has class tonight, so he won't be able to make tonight or tomorrow night. But he's been working on Gunbreaker.
But yeah,
That's all I seem to do is commute.
Oh, dude, I used to commute. Like it was like awful.
I live literally. If I walk, it's 45. It's like 30 minutes.
That's not bad. Not bad at all.
Well, I live 5 minutes by car.
Yeah.
I literally live 2 miles away from my work. But the only reason why I take so long to walk it is because it's about a third uphill.
Yeah. So the question's coming in, Brian, who drafted Monk? That's an excellent question. I specifically picked Monk, and it wasn't picked last. I picked Monk and Machinist because I couldn't stand them in Stormblood. I really did not enjoy them, but I was really impressed by them out at the media tour. So I picked Monk and Machinist, and so one of the things I've been putting some experience, like let's say if I was playing and Chris was playing and he was working on his Gunbreaker, I'd be playing Machinist right now, just so that I'm pumping in experience like where necessary. And
I'd be leveling my Master still,
Yeah.
because I'm going to try my hardest to hit 46 today before I have to leave.
So Chris also got Chris also got White Mage and Astrologian, so he got the majority of the healers. I got the majority of the casters. And we both evenly split the tanks. So I got Paladin and oh man, getting close. There we go.
What the heck?
How are you liking Paladin so far, Brian?
I honestly really liked it in Stormblood, and what took me off of Paladin, because I really didn't like the changes to Dark Knight, what took me off Paladin was Warrior in 4.2. So I actually, like, if you look at like each expansion, which is interesting, in 2.0 I main Paladin as kind of my main tank. So kind of I've always thought of my main as one of the 3 of the roles. So in 2.0 I made Paladin, in 3.0 I made Dark Knight, and then in 4.0 I was like, well, what's going to happen? And I ended up going back to Paladin until patch 4.2, where then I ended up focusing in on Warrior. So I've actually had each expansion one of the tanks as kind of my main. So I ended up drafting Paladin and Dark Knight. So I'm really excited to kind of make some progress here and you know, get Paladin up, get Dark Knight up, and then Chris and I he already has his Warrior up, so then he'll have Gunbreaker, and then we can kind of do like a versus of the 4 different tanks, kind of breaking them down, which will be fun, I think. I hope.
That life you just explained was kind of like my life with DPS.
Yeah.
Like I made Ninja for a while. Now my main is Samurai, hands down.
Dude, Samurai was so good last expansion. I haven't touched it yet this one. I drafted Sam as well.
Yeah, that's my main job. That's what I'm like for 11 and 14. That's what I was known for. Like Samurai, I know that job ins and out, everything.
Gunbreaker, I hear, is like just like so freaking like awesome and broken.
Okay, so the Gunbreaker, mind you, I'm only level 65 right now. So
yeah.
From what I'm experiencing right now with Gunbreaker is it's kind of a mix between Paladin and Warrior. You've got the it's not as high DPS as a Warrior, but it doesn't have as high
Warrior has the
capabilities
least DPS. Warrior actually has the least amount of DPS right now.
Interesting.
Are you sure about that? Because it's Warrior's AoE is still AoE is high. They got
one of the things that they took from Warrior though is that self heal. Like as a healer, I'm healing a lot more, and it's because like the tanks don't have a lot of personal self recovery, so they do some, but it's like, man, it's not like it used to be. Like Warriors
Paladins
were like unkillable. Like I soloed bosses as Warrior. Like like, all right, no, I got this. I can heal.
Let me see if I can pull up.
Gunbreaker is like the third.
Brian?
Yeah.
Careful, I'm tabbing over to FFLog.
Okay.
Just so you know. Because FFLog is back up and running, if anyone is curious.
I'm about to die. 300 hit point. Okay, we're good.
God, it's like second nature.
But Sparta, I'm just going by what my own what it feels like for me.
Oh yeah,
when I play the class.
The feel might be different from what because it feels like I don't feel like my damage has changed too much on Astro, but come to find out, Astro has literally the least amount of DPS, like period, like least amount of DPS out of all jobs.
Well, I just know that as a paladin, I don't die. End of.
Well, yeah, paladins still have clemency. They have like a lot. They have a really good toolkit. Like I didn't like paladin until I hit level 50. Like back when I originally played it, I was like, oh man, like is this gonna ever get good? And it did, but it took me to originally level 50. So
yeah, paladin.
And that's how I'm wondering how like ultimately I'm gonna feel once I do. So when we talked about the draft, when we brought that up a little bit ago, it's not that I'm not going to end up playing Gunbreaker or Dancer. It's just that from a content schedule, we feel like I can't do that until I have completed my set of the draft, until I've done all of my guides, and we're looking at it from a series perspective because not just the controller guide, but kind of a controller, keybind, rotation. Really kind of diving in and kind of having hopefully a really cool set of videos for players.
So here's a very important question.
Okay.
So, not trying to get into any spoilers or anything like that, but
sure.
In one of the instances where, like in Stormblood, where you play as one of the other characters.
Yep.
It actually gives you the toolkit to actually macro where it uses the main 3 attacks in sequence in one button.
I love how they did that. I love how they did that. You can macro that, but you're going to find yourself at a loss of DPS. Because the way the macro system works is that it doesn't allow for queuing, so you can end up losing out regarding the macro.
You lose out on like a half a second.
I don't care. Like people will come in and say like, don't ever macro. I go, play the game how you want and how you're comfortable. if you're getting into Savage raiding, maybe don't macro. But if you're not, like,
Well,
I don't think the game's
reason
gonna...
the reason I'm asking that is because there's so many buttons. With
Yeah,
the,
Gunbreaker has a ton of buttons.
Can you
And I was
macro
thinking,
buff?
like, so, like, if you were, you know, make Gnashing Fang with Savage Claw, and the, I forget the third one, but,
Now,
yeah,
I'm surprised and I'm hopeful at some point that we'll get, like, the PvP combo system as an option for players who want it. Because there's, like, people like, oh, there's no skill. I was like, there's, like, pressing A and then pressing A and then pressing A is what, you know, like, I'm not going to sit here and saying then pressing A, pressing B, pressing Y has any, like, more skill really involved. It's just a matter of that, you know, like, I would be very interested in the PvP combo system, because that's what it is. That's actually what it is. It's not a macro, and the PvP combo system is a little bit more intelligent, and I'm suspecting that we might actually see that in the game at some point, because it's just, yeah, it's gonna make sense. And I love my limit breakers. Thank you guys.
Okay, since
but yeah, that was my real big important question.
There is something. Okay, so you just said that you can really macro combos, but can you macro the buffs? For example, the extra damage you have on the tank.
You can macro
example,
everything.
You can put that on the auto attack. I mean, not, but the button you.
But you're gonna
use.
suffer a DPS loss every time.
And do not ever, like, please, because there's one issue with macroing. If you macro something like a Ninja's Mudra, which is, you know, a common macro for people that can't understand the Mudra system, you literally cannot move for like 6 seconds.
That's when you level him, right? I was saying grats to his level there.
Oh, there you go. 74. All right.
But these are, according to FF Logs, Warrior has actually overtaken Dark Knight. Dark Knight is now the least. But Gunbreaker is literally the highest. But of the 4 tanks now, it's such a small discrepancy. It's nothing. The discrepancy comes when you look at healers. White Mage is almost 10 points higher than Scholar, and Scholar is almost 10 points higher than Astro.
Well, it can't factor in utility, right?
Yeah, and Astro gives. Oh yeah, here's what does, like, I still haven't. Okay, so divination. When I get divination, and I get my 3 seals, I get 6% extra for 15. It literally is a pure increased damage dealt for everyone for 6% for 15 seconds.
Genova with $8 cheer. Thank you, Genova, for that cheer. Hives, hearts, love in chat for Genova for supporting the stream.
Increased damage dealt.
Now, I'm gonna jump in, Sparta. We got a party finder up for trial roulette. This is community game night. Password is 9999. Feel free to come join us. If we can get 8, we'll go in. If we can get 5, 4, like whatever we get, we'll run with and do a trial roulette.
I really wish I could go in with you guys, but I'm not on your shard.
Same.
You have to be on. Yeah, sure.
It's 5 a.m. here.
Daggum, dude.
I'm on YouTube.
Good morning to you, sir.
Thank you.
Aaron Adams, welcome to the workforce. And then VirusTube, welcome to the workforce. Thanks for doing this.
They might have balanced everything out pretty good. Black Mage and Samurai.
I like to look at it. I like to look at it like rather than, because a lot of people like individualize it, and that's fine. I think it's kind of fun to have a high score. So we're gonna say high scores here. Sparta bringing in the base with 9.4 on that last run. I was at 58.54. Lamas was at 59.17, and Clink takes the top spot with 65.85. So Red Mage.
Black Mage.
Red Mage.
Black Mage.
Red Mage, Black Mage.
Red Mage's new AoE, man. It's sickening.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Black
Now,
mages.
but again, like what I look at though, because it's like you can sit here and say one job is better than another. It doesn't tell the whole story. What was our total party DPS? And that was at 200. And because there's like a concept of utility, like different jobs can help buff the strength of others. I think a bad mindset is individualism in this case. Mm-hmm. It's fine to have kind of a national pride. It's kind of have a job and class pride. But ultimately, I think that are we overall as a team raising our DPS? Are we protecting each other? Are we helping each other survive? Are we picking up mechanics and having and then the ultimate question beyond whatever our DPS is are we having fun? It's like if we're not having fun, it can be fun to kind of try to push yourself, to try to really maximize your potential with your job. But
I think some people turn this too much into an actual physical job and they don't enjoy it as much anymore.
Well, that's a fact, and it's a weird relationship, right? Because like I make content around this game and other games, but Final Fantasy is like a big driver of traffic to our channel. There is I wonder about it. Like ultimately, as it goes forward, like will there be a point where like I don't enjoy making content for this game, but feel like I have to? Hopefully, I never get to that point. That my goal is, like we've always said, like if we don't feel like making something, just don't post. Like we post a lot, but we've always had the rule. Like I filmed like a video 3 different ways, like over the course of like 2 weeks ago. And I just was like, I'm just not saying it the way I want or how I'm feeling it. And we just toss it out. Like it's not that big of a deal. Red mage equals white mage emergency buttons plus black mage nukes. Oh my goodness.
Hey, quiet about my nuke. I have a nuke.
We got one more spot.
Use it.
One more spot if another tank was to come along.
What are we doing?
We're doing trial roulette.
Please don't give me.
Go.
Oh, good. Thank God. We can't get Twintanya.
Chris drafted Black Mage. I was trying to ninja it from him, so that because I got Summer Scholar and I got Red Mage, and I was really hoping to get Black Mage, but I didn't.
Red Mage is 74.
I hope we see.
Black Mage is 80.
I hope we see over the next 2 years the concept of cross data center, because that's one of the things I think that's amazing about this community is just like, it's so fun, but it still sucks. Like, oh, yep, oh, you're on Primal. Well, yeah, bummer. It's like I think that's coming, but I don't know the time frame for that.
I don't know. I think I understand the reasoning behind it. Like when you're going to play with a player that have half a second of lag, I understand the devs not making it as an option.
Mm-hmm.
At least I kind of understand. It's a bummer. Like if I want to play with you, I should be allowed, even though it's going to be hell. But I have given the option.
Brian, I have mine down here in the corner. I thought about actually setting it up tonight, but then I was like, oh, man, I don't want to have to play around with the lights. My wife also got me some lights, so I could actually, I think in my mind, do a proper green screen without it being all like weird and hazy.
So basically,
and Chris is still ordering his. I don't know what he's deciding. Like, he likes to over-research things, and I'm like, dude, the Elgato one's perfect, at least for me, because it's like it folds away, puts itself up in the corner, and then I can bring it out, I can fly it up real easily. And as somebody with kids, that is actually more an asset than having something permanently fixed or dropped from the ceiling. All right, we're just looking for one more tank. Password is 9999, Aether Data Center. Feel free to come. I'll give it another minute, and we'll see. If you want to come deep, like we could probably mix it up. We got 7 people.
I think having kids is one of the reasons why I don't stream as much as I would.
Why do we only stream really on Monday nights? That reason.
Because of your kids.
Well, see, my kids sit and do nothing but play Fortnite in the back, and they scream and yell at them at the screen. Like
that's awesome.
They get killed, so they got.
That sounds like a fun family stream. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off your story.
No, that was the end of the story. They yell at Fortnite.
What do you think about Fortnite? Like, I think I suck at it really bad.
I played it since it basically came out. I think 1 month after it came out, I've been playing. I still play it,
Yeah.
consistently. But
I really got
funny,
into
but I
It's a
think
8-bit.
really important thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
10 years ago, we didn't have like this game that everybody loved
Yeah.
equally as kids. Because I'm quite young and I see that everybody
Wow.
right now, for example, you go to high school/school
Yeah.
and everybody there plays Fortnite. Everybody has that. in
It's such a
common,
community
and I
thing.
think that
Holy mother of
Brian,
pearls!
check
Brian Williams with $100 super chat. The chat's already going nuts, already giving the hearts, giving the emotes. Holy freaking crap, guys. Like, can we get 100 hearts? Like, can somebody put 100 hearts as a one comment? I don't know if that goes over the limit, but I want to see just like a freaking river of just like insane emotes right now. Just like go nuts, guys. Brian Williams, that was beyond necessary. Thank you so much for the support for the channel. And he doesn't even drop in a message. He just freaking drops the mic, drops $100. We really appreciate it, dude. It means so much. Helps us out so much.
How many rows would that be, Brian?
I don't know actually. I don't know what the like. I mean, I'm even gonna like put. Do I have access to hearts?
7, 8, 9.
Like this thing just.
13.
I'll just put some red mages.
13 per row. So do the math for me. 13 per row. That would be.
Oh man, you can't do that many emotes. Like it's. Okay, there we go. So it could be multiple people. Just like I will like. Let's get some emotes.
I'm still going. I'm still going.
You gave me like a 200 character limit. Dude, Brian, wow, man. Yes, Sparta, dropping in hearts.
I don't know how many that is, but
it's a ton. It's a ton. Still, appreciate it. Just like give me. Yeah, that's so nice. That's so nice. Dead Zed Walking says, it can suck being casually hardcore. Like I tried the DPS, but I'm not addicted to. Oh my god, gotta put it to the max 100% of the time. I also dislike people when they barely tried out the hard content. Yeah, like it is that kind of way. Whoa, Demon J with a $2 super chat saying MSQ is insane, working on Disciple of the Land in Hand leveling. Nice, dude. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Can we get some hype in chat for Desmond as well?
We still waiting?
We're still waiting. I'm about to put us in queue though. I'm just like hanging out with chat.
I just thought I'd ask because.
No, good question. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do a ready check, and if everybody's ready, we'll go ahead and queue.
Because I gotta get started going.
Okay.
Ready for work.
Gotcha. Understood. Understood. Let's go ahead and get this trial roulette rocking and rolling.
I mean, I'd like to run more roulettes, but
oh yeah,
work.
I would always like to play more video games.
What? No.
What? Get out. Get
My
out.
boss just texted me and it's like, yeah, bro, I'm not at work right now.
There we go.
Shaka shock.
Boom shakalaka. Someone has to work the game.
Yeah.
Nude for truth.
I have tomorrow off.
Yep.
Oh.
Not tomorrow off.
All
I
right.
have. Oh, yeah.
We got the
I'll
shimmy.
take it. Yeah.
Shimmy.
At least it's not the problem I have. Oh God, I don't ever want to have to. I do not want to do Tatiana ever again.
Oh, stop.
Sagatanis Woot.
Just wait till you start having to spam do Innocence.
Extreme? Oh, Innocent? No. No. I will probably prefer Innocent. It was that bad. My basically what happened is we had a black mage decide, oh yeah, I'm going to stand in 2 AoEs at once. Yeah,
It wasn't me, I promise.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was just like yeah.
It's been a year since I've at least run this prime.
Uh-oh. The tank possibly does not know mechanics.
It's fine.
Because, well, he might, but because he has the mentor, but like yeah, you should be using your drill. It doesn't,
The
you know.
pool of light.
It doesn't expire. Like, ever. Well, it does, but it takes forever.
Hand of Beauty. Yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that Eden. With Eden that's coming out here next week, next Tuesday. I'm hopeful that the fights are voiced, because one of the things that I thought, I was like, the primals were, and then Omega wasn't. I was like, oh man, it would have been so nice. I get the difficulty and that being a possibility, but that's what I'm hoping for. Anybody got any hopes for the raid next week?
I just hope
Rest
that
your
it's
weary
good
souls
content.
in my bosom.
Sorry, she's talking about her bosom.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Sparta?
I just hope it's good content.
I think that sounds fair. I'm hoping for good content.
I hope it is. Okay. The thing about the normal raids, even if it's not, linked to the story, it's like the normal raids for Omega still had a really good story.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I hope Eden's more of a raid.
I shall free you from your hate.
Omega was more. It felt like a trial, because of just the boss and go. I'm hopeful that, because I went and did Alexander as a part of the thing. I was like, oh, this feels more raidy, in that way. Well, that's just I don't know. I'm just happy that it's going to seem to be more tied into the MSQ.
The boss finally realized, oh wait, you're not the one running the drawer.
Surrender to bliss.
My boss just texted me like, yeah, you can let this guy go now. Oh, no! Oh god, I forgot that the walls vanished.
We lost Sparta.
But,
Do not your souls weigh heavy?
yeah, so basically, my boss calls me. He's like, yeah, you can let this guy go now. I completely ignored his text. Well, he texted me. And I completely ignored the text because I'm like, yeah, I'm not at work. Why are you texting me? He just texted me back. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I texted you.
He said, oops?
Yeah, he literally said, oops.
At least he wasn't saying you can let yourself go,
Oh.
It's like, don't forget, to let Sparta go at the end of the day. But what? This is Sparta.
I would have been curious. I would have been like, well, boss, who are you letting go?
My boss won't let me go because
It's a good thing. It's a good thing that we needed.
Your souls are still.
Oh, we lost the other hero.
I can fire myself and rehire myself, over and over.
Oh no.
Yeah, when they let me go of my last job, I had to let a whole bunch of people go, and then I was the last one. I was like, yeah, I figured that much it. It's like, have a good one.
I am sorry, Valerna, because I just realized I didn't set up my macros on this. I just got my PC running, so I went and changed my hotbar. I saved all my hotbars over and put them on my PC, and now I've realized, oh wait, I didn't set up my macros, like my raid macros. And even raiders agree that the Swiftcast raid macro, or the puddle target macro, are DPS gains.
Yeah, Eden is based at least thematically off of 8.
Yeah, it's flat. It's because if you is it okay to talk about that one spoiler cutscene at the very end where they're walking in the desert?
Let's hold off. Let's just stick with our self-imposed rule just in case.
So they did ask.
Yeah.
Because that that was flat out what we all thought it was.
That just got bad. What is this? EX?
No, this is just normal. I haven't run this in forever, so it's like I do not remember.
Surrender.
Yeah,
to
and I'm
bliss.
running with hotbars that I have one macro, like my res macro, and
Your souls are
yeah, it doesn't work right now because it's not on my computer.
That's like one of the things, guys. So for everybody hanging out, make sure that you upload your system settings and your character settings to the cloud. You never know if your computer or whatever dies. It's always nice to have a backup at least once a month. So don't forget to use that feature. You can download, but I recommend at least once a month doing your system
and you can
upload. And
you can upload
you'll thank
once
me
a
later.
day.
You can upload once a day. You'll thank me
What
later.
exactly does that do, Brian?
So essentially, what it does is it. Let's say if I go downstairs to play on a different machine, I can download, and all of my hotbars, all my gear sets, like everything is in the cloud. But you have to voluntarily choose to accept it.
And if you jump from PS4 to PC like I just did, it works like that too.
Well, I've tried. I did the upload, I did the download, and it never worked.
All right. So next up, I think, is the Alliance raid.
What?
Yep.
If you're on the same system that you download to, that you uploaded from.
No, when I changed my computers.
Yeah, so like you can do your system settings and you can do your character settings. Those are two separate things that you can download. So like if I do my system, like my sound volume, like everything that I've got kind of pre-configured is there, in that regard. So now we're doing Alliance raid, Alliance Raid Roulette. It's password is 9999.
Do not, Brian. Give me about. Oh, thank God! I already have it on here. I just gotta. I love.
Oh, it looks like I learned my dash ability.
Ooh, thank you. Some of my craftsman commands sold. Yeah, I didn't make a lot today, guild wise, because I didn't play today.
Yeah,
but still, does Acture still have Earthly Star? I can't remember.
Love it.
I'm a leather crafter. I gotta craft some crystals.
Oh man, that's got some range to it.
What the
Intervene? That's got some range to it, guys.
Your jump skill. But yep, anyone that's in the FC on Sargatanis, we have a level 50, a level 70, and now a level 80 striking dummy to test out rotations and DPS.
Thank you very much, Barter, for that.
Brian, I literally I wonder if there is one up yet. I'm actually going to search it again. Oh wait, I can just. No, I'm not joking. I just searched it. Saw Crystarium striking dummy. Oh yeah, sure. Let me see how much I spent. 179,000.
Thank you very much for that, Barter. It's super generous.
Literally, when I'm sitting on 13 million. Like
make that money.
Almost 14 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris gets a lot more than me.
I think Chris is up. I think Chris is over 20. I think Chris is over 20 now.
Yeah. And I wonder, how much are you at?
I'm at 5.
5 million? So
but I'm not doing anything.
We could do it. Me and Chris were jokingly saying, like, if me, you and Chris pulled our money together,
market domination.
we'd all three be broke. But we could go get us a mansion.
But would we? We'd have each other, and that's
how much are the mansions going for?
40 million if you buy it, straight off.
I could buy it right now.
What's 40 million?
For my mansion?
Oh, I don't know. Like,
well, you got to think.
It depends on what the free company wants. If the free company wants to do it, then yeah, let's pull our that gives me a goal. Man, jeez Louise, I've never had that goal, and so if people in the free company want to save up, I'll happily. Yeah, I think that.
You just got to make sure one's available though. They're hard to come by.
SC housing, or not SC housing. Housing will be available on Ishgard, probably in 5.2 or 5.3.
I'm hoping that they're gonna have a lot of open spots because when they opened it before, they were gone quick.
All right, last call for the Alliance raid. If anybody wants to join us on the Aether Data Center, password is 9999. You can come join in. Let us know if you want in. And yeah, password is 9999.
Let me go check my
It is an
my
amazing
workshop.
time, Chris. It is
my
an amazing
workshop,
time.
as I call it. I'm basically the one running it.
He is, man.
The one thing I wish that Final Fantasy would do is actually do more monitoring on the housing, because I know that there are some, like, I guess they're crafting like extras that have bought like large houses in some of the mist areas, and they have other houses, like the same person has 3 or 4 different accounts and they all have houses.
Yeah.
With that same person. I wish there was a way that they could monitor that and like get them out of those houses based on their IP or something.
They know who they are. They actually know who those characters are, and the problem is that they cannot do that because at the time when they were buying the houses, it was not a violation of the terms of service.
Right.
But if you do it now, it is a violation of the terms of service.
So they're basically grandfathered in, so they get to keep it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think if they personalize housing, where there's like you have an individual house.
I wish they would. I just wish they would just give us personal housing. I wish, this is my opinion, them adding personal housing the way they did was the stupidest idea they ever could have implemented. And everyone said it was when they implemented it. Because the zones that we're in now, because you remember when they added housing, everyone was celebrating. And then they said it was just for FCs, and everyone's like, okay, that's fine. And then they literally just said, oh yeah, all you FC houses, y'all can now have personal houses.
Right.
Like, no. This should have literally been, like, the Mist, Goblet, all of those should have been purely FC houses. They should have made a separate instanced area to do personal housing. Like, just literally.
If personal housing was kind of a one-on-one experience, but then you kept this was a free company, I think that solves it, because then everybody can have the house they want, and then you're not also then like, oh, here's my solo or my 3 houses in the free company.
Yeah. And the other thing is, if you join an FC and you don't have a house, like, or another thing they could have done, let's say you joined an FC. You can't buy a house from anywhere. Now, if you have a house already when you join the FC, that's fine. But the problem I've seen going around is that these FCs want to get into like the airships and the, all that other, like neat little stuff that the housing has. They can't do it because it's locked behind FC housing, and they can't get a house because 90% of the houses are owned by personal people.
All right, I'm gonna do a ready check.
Okay.
Nice. I just got his Astro to 80.
I'm about to get my Astro to 75.
Oh yeah.
I could probably go just run a Fate. I need.
That's the nice thing about that, is that the Fate's also helping to count that. And Ryan Norbum, welcome to the workforce. Thanks for hitting that subscribe button.
Wow. We're near a full party and no instance.
It says 6 minutes, but it's also the raid, because it's got to also have other people doing it.
Where did you go, Brian?
Yulmore.
Okay, that's weird, because I didn't get a free teleport. Oh, wait, we're in a crossroad party.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why.
I hate one of at some point that's going to be done.
Oh man, I love the way how these crystal weapons look. I just want to buy one of these and just glamour it.
I don't. Oh. I have not. I just have not even attempted to even get close to grinding out tomes to get gear.
I was just saying, just base like level 74.
Oh, I'm talking about like Brian Brian teleported to Yulmore. I guess I thought I'd go there too. And it was like, why am I going to Yulmore? Oh yeah. There is a reason. I can do that. I forgot I had that in Yulmore. I need to unlock it anyway. I'll probably just unlock it on my Fisher. Get my Fisher some free experience. Because my botanist doesn't need it.
I wish I didn't have to go to work in a few. I'll be out there with you guys.
Yeah, I have to go to work in an hour.
About the same for me.
Let's see here. The level 70 job quest? Yeah.
I would not know.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that it's like, I really can't wait to see some of the gear design. I've already really enjoyed so far, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how it kind of evolves from here.
Yeah, I think like the entire team, like every single aspect of the team for 14, they just didn't like. I think I understand now why like everyone that played Stormblood was all like, yeah. I'm okay with Stormblood, but it could have been better. Agreed?
I was burned out.
Yeah, no, sorry. 1 second.
I mean, when they came out with Heaven's Sword, it was good, but with Stormblood, it was much of the same thing. I mean, it was hard to get past the dragon.
But now I see why. But yeah, what, dude? Why did? Oh,
there we go. We
Jelly.
got Jelly. Yeah. We got Jelly. We got her. We're good. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Sorry about my volume. I'll turn it down.
No, you're good. I think your volume's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, they dialed it in Stormblood. But at the same time, yeah, it was a dial-in for Stormblood. But look what they did with Shadowbringers. Like
Stormblood was a safe expansion. They were playing it safe.
Yeah, they were playing it safe. They were doing experiments.
Well, I think there's a lot of technical debt that happened as a part of Stormblood. That it's like, and that's really why, like, when I look at the video, like, why the game was dying for me last year, is that it was all about that technical debt. A lot of people are like, the game's population. I'm like, the video mentions the population of the game 0 times because it has nothing to do with people playing it. It's that it literally felt like a copy of Heaven's Word, but it was smaller. You know, and I was like, wait a minute, like,
yeah, I know,
like it's not even comparison wise. And so, the concern is like, what is happening behind the scenes? Is the game in a state that it's so hard to make content for that we're just going to see this trickle down to where there's not a game to play anymore? Where it's like, we get one dungeon, you know, like the extreme is that we get like one dungeon and expansion because they cannot make content fast enough. But they were like, when you look at the world visit and the technical issues, like, and like how smooth that was ultimately, it gives me a lot of hope for the game overall, because like that had to happen. They had to have a team working on that. So the question we don't know, but is how much technical debt currently still exists in the game, and I think it's ideally like
minimal.
Well, it's still there. Like you look at the fate changes with Shadowbringers, and the fact that we don't see those in previous areas says that there's still definitely technical debt, things they have to fix, things they have to do that are just unfortunately going to take time. But then you go in at the same time, look at the glasses and the headgear that they went and started adding support for. Man, I get a good angle. It started adding that support for, and that tells me that like this team, if given the opportunity, will come in and work after hours and really try to make something that's going to surprise and delight us. So, like, ultimately, it's just a matter of time, money, and resources. And I think, especially now that kind of 15's out of its forever development, it's like, gosh darn it, I cannot see the... There it is. 15's outside of that cycle now. Hopefully, this means that we get to start seeing way more interesting pieces of content, within the game itself, because the back end, it allows them to create the content they want to create, as opposed to have to jump through these hoops just to kind of do these things. So, technical debt's it's such an interesting topic within development for me as a developer. I'm like, what's your technical debt?
I think what was the Speakers of Highlands? They talked about it like in their latest video, the one that came out right before Stormblood. That shows you how behind in videos I was. I just got to watching that video.
Mm-hmm.
They talked about it like the technical debt from 1.0 was still not paid back.
Right.
In 2.3.
No, it's still they ninja patched our companions in patch 4.4. So they went through and really kind of you're not seeing the effects of it, but behind the scenes, the technical debt, they've redid that system, and ideally that means that in the future they can get faster, because what it is that you want to invest in the ability to let the devs make the content, and if they don't do that, content slows down. It's just the way of things are, because that if they make one change, it could end up breaking a lot of the content itself.
Here come the ads, kill the ads, kill the ads, kill the ads.
1.0 wasn't really that bad, to be honest.
By the time when Yoshi P took over and got them kind of streamlined, I would agree. If you look at what happened at the time of launch, oh man, I did not make it anywhere near where everybody was standing.
The problem is that at the time of launch, it wasn't bad after Yoshi P got a hold of it. That was 6 months?
So he took over after 6 months. So he's the I subbed for 6 months and then they went free to play. And so when he so I still have some of that Krista on my account, because I didn't have to use all of it. But I was like, okay, when game came out, we had the podcast, we're talking about the game. I'm like, I'm gonna give it 6 months and see how it feels and whether we want to keep with it, like with any MMO. And so it came out oh man, what am I doing, Brian? And overall, after the November patch, they smoothed out a lot of kind of the lag issues, the menu lag, things like that, and it was enjoyable, but ultimately not satisfying, because there was so much quality of life that was needed. It was just insane. And what ended up happening, the game went free to play, so I already had 6 months of Krista, so I was like, well, I'm gonna keep playing, and see what happens. And then Yoshi P introduced himself on January 1st. So it was announced that he took over and all that. And then he actually wrote his first letter from the producer and introduced himself on January 1st. And I was actually at my sister's house in Arkansas, and I woke up and I read it, and I was like, okay, something's happening here. Something is interesting. And so I decided to stick with it, kept playing it. And by that October, he had laid out his plan for 2.0. And at that point, I was like, yeah, this is legit. Because then he's like, yeah, be a part of it. We're going to turn back on subs. You're going to be a part of the rebuilding of this game. We did, he hasn't ever done another survey, because he did a lot of survey, and it was really interesting. So we were able to kind of provide this is what we want, this is what we would like to see, etc., etc. And so when he and then he destroyed the world.
Yeah, the thing about
I was there.
Yeah, me too.
The thing about what he did though was insane, from what I understand.
Yeah.
3 months of that time, so from January to March, the end of March, they tried to save 1.0.
Yeah.
But in March, he basically went to to Square Enix and said, his boss, and said, this game cannot be saved.
Yeah.
And then 3 months later, they're basically announcing, yeah, we're going to relaunch the game.
Well, and then he had to put together the plan for it. Sorry, Lamas, go ahead.
I would say he kind of broke the mold when he came out and actually laid out a plan. No other MMO had ever said, hey, this is what we're going to do, and this is our plan moving forward. All the other MMOs
supported the current game while building the new game.
Yeah.
And so one of the costs though that we still have been paying for, that a lot of it's just the reality of it, is we still pay for it in the degree that 1.0, like they never knew Heavensward was going to exist, and because of that, they did not code the game. Like, you know, so a lot of the technical debt comes from like, okay, we have to, because it wasn't just Final Fantasy 14. Like 14 damaged the reputation overall of 13, which I mean, Final Fantasy, which for some people who might not have enjoyed, you know, 13 could say like it was already like damaged, but 13 was a financial success. That's why they kept making them.
That's why they made 15, and 15 was so big. Cause
yeah, 15 was 15 was a financial success.
15,
really?
I think, is the second highest.
I thought it was really bad.
No,
Didn't
the
they
DLC,
the
DLC has lost them money, and hopefully that teaches them to say, just like look at Nier, you know, Automata, like that's a complete game. Dragon Quest XI is a complete game, you know, and so
base games made them like base 15 made them like they said. What was that? I can't remember what the article
they lost
said,
33 million like on doing all the DLC work.
Yeah, on the DLC. But the base game, if they had not done DLC, they could have, just on the profit from the base game alone, they could have made like 10 main series Final Fantasy games with the same budget that they've made 15 on.
Yeah, 13. A lot of people love Lightning, or at least Square Enix really pushed Lightning as a character. And I thought she was like a decent character, and then like in 13 Lightning Returns, they took out like all of her personality as a part of the story, and so like honestly, like the whole extra stuff just ended up, I just was like, all right, like I got off the train with the whole like everybody's aware of the time paragons, like, you know.
Yeah. No, Chris, this is still one more week.
Yeah, I just wish that they would actually stop doing a lot of DLCs and give us a really complete.
Yeah, and look at the success of Dragon Quest and Nier and Octopath Traveler and God of War. Like, there is the sense that I think for single-player story-driven games, Witcher, that like they can have some kind of DLC if they really want it, but it's not like it. Yeah. It's not with 15. They baked it in to be a part of the whole experience. So if you want to experience 15. You have to experience all of it, or you might just as well not experience any of it. It's a decent story. It's got some really compelling characters. I enjoyed 15. It's not anywhere near my top games, and what I've heard, and this is just like talking with Charles, talking with Comic Story, and like who've gone hands-on with 7, they've all said this, and they've said this without like any idea that, you know, what other people are thinking, and have already told me that the 7 remakes engine, the battle system is so good, it's what they wished Final Fantasy 15 was. You know, and so it's that I'm hopeful with the changes, especially with Shadowbringers, with 7 remake, it gives me a lot of hope for Final Fantasy 16. And really ideally, don't tell me about 16 until you're ready to ship 16. Like, I can't take any more of these 10-year...
1 year.
Dev site, yeah, like I would say at max 18 months, but that's like they're literally like they're ready to print the game, you know, and it's like, okay, we're just really polishing the ever living crap out of it, you know.
There is, I want to mention something that someone said before.
I'm looking for C. There we go.
Live service. Like, I actually really like live services, but it has been corrupted.
I like live services too, but you're right.
Companies, for example, to me, a live service is a game that is never going to stop being developed. For example, Dwarf Fortress. In case anybody knows Dwarf Fortress, that game has been getting content.
Yeah.
For like the last 20 years or so.
Yeah.
And it has such depth.
Yeah.
And so much content. Like, that to me is a live service game. A game that is never going to be finished, but in a good way. It's just going to keep getting.
Yeah, live services games I prefer. Like, this is a live service game. You know, it's like games that continue to go on. And I think that's where the downside in live services, when we talk about corruption, I think it's just that as a gaming community, we've spoken loud and clear what we're willing to pay for, and it's always you get what you pay for, right? And so that you've seen that MMOs, like WoW, everybody's like, holy crap, there's a lot of money to be made in these subscription-based games. How do we do that?
Yeah.
And so then they invest in that, and it ends up like, okay, people are subscribed to multiple subscription-based games. How do we get people in? And then it's like, okay, we got to start to recuperate our money. And so that's where 14's, as a subscription-based game, is a standout in terms of like quality and what you get for what you pay for. It's my preferred method for MMOs. However, look at Fortnite. Look at these other games. When developing companies, when they're looking at these, they're not sitting here saying like, okay, this is what we want to do, because like that's where people are willing to pay. They're willing to pay for glamour. They're willing to pay for these additional things, and that's the messaging that these companies get, until all of a sudden we sit here and say like, oh, it's the worst and they're such horrible, evil people, and it's like they're just following the numbers. Like if I had an Apple stand and you keep asking me for apples, I'm like, I'm gonna buy some, I'm gonna give you more apples, and all of a sudden you're like, you suck, apples are the worst. It's like I'm a little bit confused because for the last several years everybody like and that's because gaming is also such a huge, broad audience. It's no longer a niche. We're, like as somebody who is informed, like we're still niche in the terms of like if you follow the media.
Thank you, Alliance. Thank you very much.
What happened?
I wish I had a raise.
Oh shit!
I wish I had a raise. Like as a paladin, I would love a paladin raise.
The thing is, also one thing that we should not forget, even though your argument is really valid, the numbers don't equal fun. For example, there was a very recent interview with the WoW main developer, Ian something, where he said, we run the numbers, so we know this is... It does not work like that. You, for example, talking about this in your last podcast, is that you can have an infinite dailies, but that does not mean you're going to enjoy it. It's going to become a job. But you're not having fun, yet you're playing more. So we run the numbers, so we know it's fun.
Yeah,
doesn't correlate.
Are you? The question would be to follow them up. Is like, are you actively playing? Yeah. And
I would actually, I'd be honest with you, I didn't play in the last 6 months of Shadowbringers.
What did you say? Sorry, Lemus?
I didn't play the last 6 months of Shadowbringers. I just got burnt out on it.
Oh yeah, I took once I got like I had my prep work for the expansion, and so I kind of did that like once a week because I looked at it as a task list. It's like, okay, I need to level this. These are the leaves that I'm going to use to level it. Here we go.
Wow.
And I just rested.
No.
Go ahead.
I joined. I burned myself out. And
you meant Stormblood, right? You said you got burned out on Shadowbringers.
He meant Stormblood, but like, I knew what he meant.
I don't.
It was the same with me. I mean, I got really burned out on.
Yeah. In every expansion, like Heavensward releases, I join. I put in like 200 hours or 300 hours in the first month. I quit.
Yeah.
Hey, Jelly.
I gotta go AFK for a second. I gotta turn people down.
Okay. You're good.
He's gotta go break some hearts.
No, it's like I'm trying to say something, but it's really ringing in my ears very loudly.
No worries.
Yeah, I've been trying to say something about like the whole, like trying to interject into that, like the whole
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Sparta.
Live service thing.
Okay.
Before it, reverts away.
Yeah. Before we move on to another topic, go ahead, Sparta.
Yeah. So the live service thing, it got corrupted because again, I think you touched on it. They saw like these. It's like it's one or two, maybe three companies that are the main issue, and it's like they see the numbers because again, the big one, EA with FIFA. People don't realize they realize now how much they're spending on it.
EA lighting caught just like a week ago. They know perfectly well.
What they are doing. No. What I'm saying, this was before they knew what they were doing, but people did not know how much money they were really spending on like Ultimate Team Sports till that new law came out. This is the only reason why this whole issue with loot boxes came up, is because people were finding out
They have addiction.
Yeah, they literally found out that without realizing it, they spent $4,000 in literally loot boxes.
Yeah, I heard some. I've heard bigger numbers. Like it's just.
Yeah. That's small numbers. But
I remember there was actually a game out there, a Starship game. Some guy actually spent $100,000 of real money to make a ship, and somebody came and destroyed his ship.
Yep.
Oh, $100,000 is real bad.
Yeah, and he died from a heart. No, he spent $500,000. A bit more than $500,000. He spent
if he's got the money, there's not a problem with it.
700,000.
You know, like we can't sit here and like. There's got to be a level of personal responsibility. And we, you know, it's like if somebody is like. Now the problem that I see with it with loot boxes, it's just it's training people. Oh, what am? Yeah, I'm just gonna take a hit.
And it's.
I haven't done this in. I have not done this.
Control. It's
in
harder
forever.
to have self-control when you're 12.
Yeah, and it's like, and then we're training people for like addiction. It's like, okay, let's go ahead and get you addicted to this loop early, so that you can start spending money with us, you know, later. It's just.
Yeah, I agree.
Even Square Enix got in trouble a long time ago with 11, the Pandemonium Warden, making the fight too hard. You know, just testing people's limit on how long they want to stay into a fight.
Yeah.
Square Enix is really egregious as well. Like.
Well, they've got
they
their
really
loot box
things.
games, all the mobile.
They do really good things with their main franchises, but then they completely ruin others. For example, Deus Ex. Deus Ex has been through a lot of trouble due to Square Enix and the greed. Like I don't know if you
I have a
know
hard
this,
time
but-
subscribing greed to everything, because again, it's like as a company, like oh, people are buying this. Well, sell it to them.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They removed the later half of the game to sell it as another game separately, as a sequel. That's a bit too far for me.
Okay.
Multiples of 4?
Make sure.
Right.
Yeah, multiples of 4. Multiples of 4.
Oh, yeah, I got it wrong. It would have been this. Okay, 1 plus that. There we go.
Y'all better hurry up.
Divided by 3.
Divide by 3. 1 divided by 3 is still going to be 1?
If you got a 1, you need to be in 2.
2? No.
Yeah.
Didn't make it.
You take with your current HP. You take your current HP, add it up, and it has to equal up the value.
Okay. Incinerate.
Oh. Sorry, Clank.
It's no problem. I got the 2 wrong.
That's actually a good thing you died. No, it's actually because when you have that buff, that debuff, it's actually a damage like dealing down.
Yeah.
It's a debuff. It's a flat out. No.
I love this animation.
Yeah. But yeah, this whole thing is just. And
The numbers probably did say 15 mobile was successful. Like.
Oh, I mean, you gotta think. 15 on the Switch, was it successful? Most likely.
Yeah. I mean, it's all depending on like what they're shooting for in terms of success, right? Okay, and stop. What?
People do. Auto attacks do count.
I physically turned. I guess I was not like synced up with the server.
Yeah. I always like delay my movement just a hair.
What's up, Philip? Yeah, it's the math boss. I have not done this in forever. It's fun. I like that. I like when like, oh man, like I'm like this content. Yeah.
That's why I like the roulette.
Yeah.
They... I've literally done this so many times though. It's just like second nature. Nope.
Oh, we got a stack mechanic.
God, that would have hurt. Yeah, we had the stack mechanic and someone had a bubble on them. It's like,
Casey, welcome to the workforce. Thanks for hitting the subscribe button.
yeah.
Oh, pulverize. Run away, Brian.
Jelly, you're a white mage main, mostly. How are you liking white mage now? Does it feel any different to you?
I don't really get changed, no.
So,
I'm still DPSing in dungeons and still healing.
And I'm still DPSing in dungeons. Yeah, it's a little more complicated, but it's just like
White Mage, like when I played around with it, felt
White
like,
Mage
it feels
is
good.
okay.
Like I was like, feels like what I would expect. Computation mode.
White mage is the strongest healer.
Probably.
Like, oh no, there's no like it's like 50 points above Scholar right now.
Okay, so I've got
I think the main problem with Scholar is that people didn't know how to play Scholar to begin with.
Yeah.
They didn't know how to control them.
primes. So I need 1.
I need 11.
No,
yeah,
prime
11.
is divided by 1 in itself. Crap. 11. I got it.
Yeah, anything, you know, like I had a
Calibrate multiples of 3. 9. There we go.
Yeah, I need 9.
Oh, cool. It actually adds to my HP. I never even noticed that.
Yeah, it's literally an HP boost. Like, come on. Hello to everyone. But yeah.
I guess I could have done. I could have been like cool and done that, but I did not.
Clink and
That sucked.
Llama were both full HP and they just died to that.
Yeah, it just melted.
Or you, Llama? Yeah, it's like you were full HP.
Yep.
Oh no, Jelly! We need you! Yep, you got it.
So, how do hunts work? Because I understand the link shell, like there are special enemies that appear, but where's the correlation to the bill mark? You know, where you request the hunt mark.
It's basically just, oh hey, go hunt this thing.
Yeah, and it puts a little target
And
marker over
just-
their head.
And just hope that it's spawn, I assume.
Well, if it's a B spawn, B ring, literally.
Some weird frame lag here.
They are there, okay.
Um,
And you can basically kill it on your own, or is it a group effort?
as long as you are max level of the current, like if it's for say Shadowbringers and you're hunting a level 80 B rank, yes. If you're in Heaven's Word, blah blah blah, you know.
I think it's
whatever.
the hunt system actually unlocks as a part of ARR after the main
It does.
story, and so it's
Yeah,
a part of
it's
your grand
really
company.
confusing.
Yeah, it's a part of your. It's been forever, so that's a great. Thank you, Philosophy Bear, for that request. I don't know if we already have a video up on that back from the day. Probably not, because I wasn't
Probably
doing
not.
YouTube back then.
Yeah, I would like. There are so many videos that we've given you, like.
Yeah.
The Empire is a cancer, and I am the barber's blade.
The Empire is a cancer.
God, I love when people do this. Like,
Is there a limit to the hunts that you can have?
you can
So-
only have one per week.
Well, there's different categories hunts. So you get the
yeah.
weekly, but then there's the daily, and they have different categories of levels that reward different.
Yeah, and the like the dailies are you get one. Is it 1 in ARR, 3 in Heaven's Word, 3 in
Stormblood,
Stormblood,
and 3 in
Shadowbringers. And they probably people waste them. They don't use them.
Yeah, they're really good experience. They're really good.
Especially for like a long queue time, like a DPS queue time.
Yeah.
Why sit around doing nothing? Go do something. Go do leave.
Yeah, especially now with Shadowbringers, like get your fate on, and like while you're doing that, like okay, I got positive. So is it positive to positive and or negative to negative? Like positive to negative?
Opposite.
Do you want to be in the air?
No. You want to literally be
on the ground.
If you've got a positive, you need to be on the negative.
Got it.
Oh, you need to be on the negative side.
Yeah, if you have positive, you need to be on the negative. If you have negative, you need to be on the opposite. Because you don't want to be in the air. You will literally, that wall around the arena, I found this out the hard way. That wall does not stop you from falling off the arena. Yes, I found that out. I wish I could have recorded it. It was hilarious.
I did this fight like once.
Yeah.
And then I've never done this. Like this, that was my story. Like I loved it, but I did the last one so much, and I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I did twice.
I'll be honest with you. This is the first time I've ever actually done it.
Awesome! I'm glad you're here. This is great. Especially if it's the first time you're seeing this content. It's like the game has so much content. Like it's got like I think Skillip says he's like at 87 hours played, and he's just getting into Heaven's Word.
Yeah, people don't realize like if you were to enjoy every piece of content that 14 has to offer from day one to right now, you would not be at the end of Shadowbringers for at least 6 months. Sorry to the tank that get hit by that. I was trying to get away.
Your suffering is not yet over.
Stack him up. Oh man, I'm getting hit by that. Dust Storm. Death Strike.
I got a Thoric. Oh, never mind. I was going to get Thoric jelly.
Yeah, the whole nut puns is just perfect though. Like my inner middle schooler comes out.
It's a running gag. It's Koji.
I got turned around.
Yeah.
I don't know which guy I should be getting.
The one that we all ended in front of.
Where are you guys at?
Literally.
How is new Scholar? New guide coming?
Yeah, Scholar, new guide coming. Sorry guys, I did not know which.
Why are y'all double?
Where are you guys? Okay, there we go. I'm gonna run over to you now.
Oh God.
Y'all killed it.
Someone double stacked on it. Feel like.
Thank you, Mitch. Can we get some hearts in chat for Mitch for that $5 epic super chat? Thank you so much, Mitch, for it. And Doyle, you have to cheer just to get your question answered. So, Scholar is at 80, and we are working on not just the controller guide, but an overall set of content for the job itself, and as well as Summoner. And so, I am working on some of that this evening and continuing throughout this week. I was originally trying to think of, I was thinking about doing the controller guide and having it come out tomorrow. But I think what kind of Chris and I kind of laid it out because the goal, because we're both splitting it and splitting the jobs, is that we want to make sure we have consistency across both of us as creators, so that we kind of put together kind of a, like, I think it's a 5 video series or maybe 7, like just on the different aspects of it. So controller guides being one of those aspects. So we want to work and get the series complete, so we don't have a Fisher level 3 guide forever in the mysterious ether. So I would suspect that we probably were going to start rolling those out within the week. But I just, yeah, I'm just doing a little bit more research. Been doing the EX. I wanted to see how it feels with, you know, within the raid itself, because I wanted to test like my setup and everything like that towards the raid and make sure that it holds up. And then we want to do a rotation, like on the rotation guide piece of it. We want to break it up in terms of level 50, level 60, level 70, and level 80. Probably as one video, but just because you do get level synced, there are times when your rotation changes depending on the content you're in. And so with all the changes with the battle system, we figured like this would be a good time to kind of highlight all of it. So there's lots of work, etc. Twitch emotes should be universal. I doubt that they want Twitch wants to give YouTube any help.
I wish that they somewhat would, like maybe link like the system, so like if you're subbed on Twitch, it's not an automatic sub to Google,
That'd
but
be
you
nice.
have access to like your Twitch emotes.
Yeah.
Like,
I wouldn't
if you
mind.
are
I would love
subbed.
it if they did some of that. I would love it if YouTube decided to either step up or I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens over the course of
But
this
it's Amazon and Google, so yeah, good luck with that. Amazon and Google, they are literally the two juggernauts of the internet.
Boom, baby. Good job, team. Good job, team.
If this was 10 years ago, I would be doing a lot better on YouTube.
Oh, how's that?
Well, 10 years ago, ad revenue was better. You didn't have to break your neck to get on the trending section. It wasn't as, I don't know the proper word to say this, but you come to YouTube to escape daytime TV, but now every time you turn around, it's daytime shows being put on here.
I don't know, man. Like, I think the ad revenue is pretty good. You know, in terms of, it just depends on the content you make. I think a lot of people, like, you got to look at how the algorithm functions. It's individualized. So if you watch the daytime TV, the system's going to recommend it for you. Trending is, they've kind of come out and confirmed that it's based off of kind of a temperature of your channel. We only got put on trending because we got Creator on the Rise, but like, you know, like I don't think we've really ever hit trending because it's, you know, it is curated, and ideally they're going to kind of balance it out between, like you said, daytime TV and whatnot. But to say you can't make it on YouTube, or to say like you can't make money or do that, I'm not seeing it. Like I mean, the ad revenue is going to fluctuate month over month, and like I haven't checked our CPM in a while, but let me go take a look just to see. So CPM is cost per mile. It's like essentially what you think of what you make per 1,000 views. Let's see here.
Well, I'm nowhere up to your level. I make like 9 cents a day.
Well, I mean, like, you change up your content. You know, I mean, like, I'm not trying. Hopefully, that does not sound as harsh as like I can't find another way to say it. But if people aren't like watching, switch it up. You know?
Oh no, I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the content that I'm putting out. I'm not on
Well, I mean,
YouTube,
if you like your stuff, then there you're good.
One thing also that worries me is that people are still trying to chase YouTube as an actual job, a way of living, and I think that's a really dangerous idea.
Yeah, you have to diversify your revenue, because like we look at our revenue for YouTube as just, we don't calculate it into our budget. You know, it's just like, oh cool, like, you know, like I'm gonna get that game now. You know, so I got Super Mario Maker 2. It's like, that's great. So like our CPM right now is like $7.99, which is, I think, good. I don't know. Creators I don't know if they share that. Like, I'm pretty wide open in terms of whatever that means.
I was a Patreon quite some time ago of new YouTube news channel, gaming news channel. Okay. And what happened was that they changed the algorithm or something, and it was 5 people working on the channel, a team of 5 people. They had to fire 3.
Yeah.
Because
the apocalypse is really hurt. Well, the algorithm, like if you're not getting recommended or suggested, That's actually something like we've kind of looked at. It's like, where does the views come from? And the majority comes from browse, but we actually looked at like the suggested, and it's not that high when we've talked with other creators, and it's like,
and
okay,
you
so
looked
what are we
at
doing wrong? I don't know.
Patreon. Yeah, and you looked at Patreon and you saw, oh, they're getting $3K a month, and you say, yeah, that's decent, but
for people who have a staff,
does
like, that's
not
nothing.
maintain 5 people. Yeah, they were actually earning 7K per video, so like, yeah, Patreon is actually like what, 5%?
Yeah,
3% of the revenue. Like, it was not working, and yeah, it was really sad.
Walt says 95% of trending is trash. I'm actually kind of glad we don't get on trending, and it's because that when you look at it, like, it could end up bringing a lot of toxicity into this community, and it's like, while we do like try to make our titles and thumbnails the most clickable available because we want to try to reach as many people as possible, we want to see, like, ideally somebody who's like generally interested in MMOs is going to find us. Like, John Q, whatever, just hates like, wants to hate on everybody. Like, he can go and just hate on other communities if that's what he wants to do. Like, I don't care. You go have fun over there. But
that's also like a problem. I think that every community has its own sector of toxicity. For example, I think the obsession with not being toxic in Final Fantasy XIV has its own toxic community. Like, the people obsessed with not using what's the active advanced combat tracker. Yeah, ACT.
Yeah.
People
I'm running ACT
obsessed
though.
with, no, you should not do it. Like,
I'm not. I don't. Damage meters don't make people toxic. Toxic people are going to be toxic, and they're going to use damage meters as a way to kind of try to flex on people.
Yeah, it's like saying that money is a bad thing. Like, no, it's about what you do with the money.
Exactly.
Like, money, yeah.
The
only problem with money is the fact that there's many people out there that don't know how to handle money.
Oh, amen to that. Julie and I, we did, like, this is just like real talk here. Julie and I, after school and everything, I think we had, and after there's life events and things like that, like, ultimately we end up doing the Dave Ramsey thing, and we paid off like over $100,000 in debt. That's student loans. That's like the housing emergency we had that really kind of impacted me for Stormblood. I've had to put over like almost $35,000 into the house, and we had just paid off all our debts, and so then I had to take on a lot of extra contracts to do that. And thankfully, I work in an industry that has so far been very generous to my family. But I worked, I worked 60 to 80 hour weeks on multiple contracts to get all of this done. I was very tired. But we were able to do it in cash, and so I didn't have to borrow. I had to borrow like $12,000, and we paid that off first because I didn't have an insane amount in my emergency fund. I had some, and so we had to cover half with our full emergency fund, and then we had to cover the half. We had to borrow and put a lien on the car to do it, and then we had to do the floors, and then we had to fix. Anyway, long story short, it's the problem, and this is true. Like, I see this a lot with finance people who were constantly telling me not to pay off my debt, and they were like, "Oh, you want to do this with it? You want to do this with it?" And I get, like, if you know all the ins and outs, maybe there is like a smart way that you can risk your money. But I was just like, I'm not willing to gamble on that. Mm-hmm. I want, and that's the only reason I was able to start a business, and that's the only reason I'm able to do YouTube is because, I have a note on my house, and Julie and I's goal is to pay that off as quickly as possible. It's going to take us some time. I don't make insane amounts of money, but I make enough to provide for my wife and my kids, to pay our bills, and to play video games, and that's I think really important. And you guys help out immensely with that. Like, the support you give allows us to kind of lean into and make more content. So I'm more or less right now and just take everything like that we get from here and just kind of reinvest that time back in the channel. It allows, Julia's like, yeah, go make a video, so because essentially it's not like, oh, we don't see you, and and then it's like, well, you you could have gone and worked. Like, if we're not going to see you, like, are you going to go and at least try to help us get, you know, this last major debt, you know, paid off? But that's that. I agree, Leland. I don't know the solution because my dad, you know, I love him, and he's a financial guy. You know, he's one of those guys that's like, oh, you want to do this and you want to do this, and I'm like, I love you, Dad. I'm gonna focus. I'm gonna pay, you know, because it's like you want to pay the highest interest loan off first. And Dave Ramsey says, pay the smallest loan. Pay your smallest loan. It's a win. It's the same concept with 14. It's the same concept. When we say get to cap, it's like you want that win. You want that victory. If you keep, you know, dividing and trying to divide up like however many like debts you have, no.
Well, yeah, because I've got a buddy of mine who he's going through a divorce.
Oh no, that sucks.
He's got like 20 credit cards, and he was trying to pay all of them off simultaneously, and I says, no.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Pick one.
Pick one. Get it done.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm actually about to somewhat do the same thing in my life.
Cool.
But I'm going to do something a little different because the highest credit card, store card I have is only $1,000. So I'm going to do something smart. I'm consolidating all of them into one.
Okay.
But I wanted to say, because I've been trying to say this for 5 minutes now.
I apologize. Go ahead.
You have a good night. I got to get to work.
All right. Sparta, you have a good night, sir. Thanks for hanging out, dude. Thanks for being part
Just
of the workforce.
to throw it in here, my job, I'm actually a debt collector.
You're a what?
I'm a debt collector.
Dude, I've done a lot of work in the debt collecting industry as a software engineer. And to tell, like, when I look at the thing, you probably know this. There's a whole industry around collecting money that people owe.
Oh yeah, but I think actually, from my point of view, one of the dumbest things you can do is consolidate. That's because they add 15% collection costs onto your however. So you're just adding onto your loans. It's dangerous to do. If you can pay them off, you know, separately and keep those down and not incur that 15% extra cost, that's going to help you out in the long run.
The other piece of it too is that what you see is that sometimes, and it's not the case, I'm not going to sit here and say anybody should do one way or the other. I'm just saying that I've had a plan. It works for Julie and I. It's not fun. Like, we don't, you know, I drive a car that was not made this century. It's a 99, you know, old truck. Like, it's like at some point maybe I'll have a new car or a 2-year-old car. Some point, but what I do see is that what Dave Ramsey says about consolidating, because he agrees with you, is that he talks about is that you actually don't change your habit, and so you run the risk of consolidating and then end up taking on other debts, right? So it's like
just as an example, I talked to a gentleman that owed about $600,000 in student loans. He consolidated; it went up to $850,000. He defaulted. It went up to $1.2 million.
Was he a dentist?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Dentists are the most in debt and indebted profession out there. It's ridiculous. There's a dentist that is literally going to have his loans eventually forgiven. So when you hear about loan forgiveness, that's all of us paying for his education. So he's just paying the bare minimum, and it's going to get up. I think they're like, are you going to pay this off? And he's like, we can't. It's over $2.2 million. And
the problem I think a lot with that though is the interest rates are just ridiculous. You're paying more on interest rates for that kind of debt, like student loan debt, than you are in your.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why when I look at the numbers, it's like people would say debt's a tool, and I'm not gonna say I haven't. Like, I've been in debt. Like, I'm not sitting here saying like I know I figured out the perfect way. I am not, financially independent. Meaning like I got to go to work like everybody else. Like it's right. I work 40 hours plus a week. I like what I do, so I'm blessed in that regards. Not everybody has those opportunities. The thing that frustrates me that I look at it is that the pushing of all this debt on kind of at the university level, because it ends up seeing like, okay, you changed your major 6 times, 7 times. Nobody has ever asked me after my first job what my GPA was, what my major's in. It comes down to do the job. College education should be about teaching people how to think, And then instead, like, because we kind of had this shift to this career focus. You got to go to college to have this career. And so what you end up doing, because I went and it was my buddy's birthday. We went out to college. He's a doctor of military history, so he's got his PhD. He did it all on scholarship, so he got his PhD. Doesn't owe a penny. We're hanging out with his other buddy, doctor of philosophy, works at Starbucks, owes $650,000, and he makes like $15-16 an hour. And I just, like, my heart breaks because I love philosophy. I think philosophy is an important thing. I think I think education is incredibly important. However, like, I can't imagine that pressure in my life.
Well, there's another aspect to that too. I'm an artist. I do a lot of drawing.
An artist is
great.
great.
I got turned down from the job because I don't have a college degree in art. But the guy that they hired, the boss, the owner of the company, said, "I like your work better, but my board members would kill me if I didn't hire somebody that has a degree."
Oh, it's so freaking frustrating. You know why?
Oh, yeah.
You know why? Freaking Walmart. So Sam Walton would walk around and he would see somebody doing a good job. This just boggles my mind. But this is how we got here. And he would promote them. Well, what ends up happening is that they got sued because somebody's like, why did he get promoted and not me? And so essentially to protect the companies, they have established these systems that ultimately are there to protect and insulate the company, but not deliver the right product sometimes. And sometimes you get so much into that litigiousness of business that, oh, I might like somebody's work, but for an artist job to require a college education, I mean, it's like, what is happening? Can you draw? Can you do the work? Like, and that's where it's going to be an interesting couple, like 20 years as we move more into automation, as some of these things happen, what ultimately ends up. Philosophy, there is a market for it, like theater. Like I didn't study theater, but I did a lot of theater in college. And the beauty of it is that it allows you to have like philosophy and psychology and things like that can really help aid you in business if you frame it the right way, if you look at it the right way. Like each and every one of us is going to be our own success, whether we are like motivated to do it. There's going to be step ups. Like there's advantages that like we might have based off of what state we live in, what color our skin is, what gender we are, like who our friends are. Like those are things that are intrinsic, and the society will work it out ultimately what makes the most sense. But then there's also like personal motivation, right? Because like both my sister and my dad are in finance, but I wanted to go into programming. If I went into finance, I would have had to step up and a foot in anywhere, like, because it's like, hey, my dad, but I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and there's a personal drive that has to play out with kind of that individualness that we have.
Yeah. I'm studying right now.
What are you studying?
Server administration.
Nice.
And network design.
Yeah.
And we actually have. I'm not studying like engineering on it. I'm doing like something similar to trade school on America, from what I've heard. And the companies actually prefer trade school way more because you are, as part of the studies, you spend 3 months working at a company.
Yeah.
And they actually prefer it because somebody that comes from university has had no experience. But
we have a
from trade school.
Trade schools.
Yeah, we have that. I mean, there's a lot of jobs like in America right now, and there's a shortage, like, because it's like, oh, people need those kind of tasks, and like I wish I could offer solutions to like all of these, because it's such a hard and weird line, because if you some jobs like if they're gonna sit here and require you to have a college education, that could be that's a roadblock. How do you do that? Ultimately, the hope is that you can do it without incurring a massive amount of debt. Like how like stepping out into the world, and then it's like, oh, by the way, like you're going to have to work extra hard. You're not going to be able to buy assets. You're going to be in debt, and you get debt minded, and then you feel like it's helpless. And there are people out there, like, debt sucks. Like it was crushing. Like, and when we had to go pay it off, like it was like a diet. Somebody was saying like it's kind of like a diet, or there's like the diet aspect where if you don't change your habits, like we had to go. Like, I haven't taken Julie like on a proper vacation. We're going to Galveston as the family this year, and her and I are gonna get we're gonna go do a thing, just the her and me, for a couple of days, like in like August or September. We kind of set up the dates, but we're doing that now when we delayed that for so many years. Like, it's like, okay, well, we could do this, but no, let's get this loan paid off. Let's get that loan paid off. And it's
honestly, that's where
good.
a lot of where you differ from a lot of people, because like I said, I collect that, and there's a lot of people I have to track down, and I track them down in the Bahamas. And because they went on vacation instead of playing.
Yeah, I mean the whole industry is built around it, and I mean it is, like if everybody stopped paying off their debt, like there'd be an economic setback for a while, because you'd also have a lot of people out of a job, because it's like it's so fascinating too, because you're probably well aware of it. I don't know if Chad is, but let's say I had $100,000 in debt. Like, your company buy that for 25 or 30 cents on the dollar. So you're gonna, like, you bought it for 30, you're gonna try to collect the whole 100 or whatever you can get, and that's profit. And then if you might collect some of it, and at some point another company might buy it from you guys. And so debt has become a commodity that people trade. And I've written these algorithms about propensity to pay, and it's like, how many times do we have to bug you before you pay? And one of the things that Julie and I have found, because we couldn't afford the government health care after we got laid off, it was as much as our mortgage, which was painful, and so we ended up shifting to a different kind of thing. That's like a Medishare or something like that. So it's like a different kind of healthcare program. So it's a lot cheaper. But what we've also found is, because it's not technically insurance, like whenever I went to the hospital like last year, we were like, okay, like they were like, you owe us $5,000, and I was like, well, I don't have $5,000 right now. We have all this other stuff going on. Like, how much would you accept if we settle it in full? And they're like, oh, let me check. And they're like, oh, we can give you a 90% discount. I go, okay, I can pay that. I can pay the $150 to $200 on this $5,000 bill is, etc. Because we're not in network. Here's the money, And so we've learned to sit here and say, hey, let's work with each other. I know that you got your cost. They have to pay you so much. Like, how, like, let's just get around the dance and like, what will you settle for?
Well, in like what I collect it's actually non-negotiable, because I specify in student loan debt, so it's actually non-negotiable.
Well, because it's secured by the government.
Right, but like an example of the insurance thing is I was working with a guy back in my day. I worked at Walmart. He got hurt on the job, and when he went to the hospital, they're like, okay, it's going to be $1,500 for this air cast. And he's like, well, I got hurt at job, so Walmart's gonna
Walmart's gonna pay for it. Yeah.
Now they brought the bill out, and it was like $7,000 because Walmart's insurance was gonna cover it now all of a sudden. So they raised the price.
Yep.
And it's like price gouging, That I don't think that should be a thing, but it is.
Yeah.
Oh, the medical industry is big business. I dated a nurse, and let me tell you, it's one of the most unreal.
The problem is
unfeasible.
insurance. The problem is insurance. I was talking to a priest about this. Well, there's been a lot of investment. Like when you look at it, same thing with games. Like there's money to be made, so there's investment, and so we've seen healthcare improve dramatically, and we can't deny that. Like, I went in for a procedure. I had my gallbladder out, and like literally like 30 years ago or 20 years ago or 10 years ago, forget the time, they would have to cut around my entire side. Now they kind of did a laparoscopic thing. Like, it's like the quality and improvement of healthcare has to be factored in the conversation. I was talking to a priest about this, and he was saying, like, the problem is insurance. We have a subsidized and an unsubsidized healthcare industry. And in the subsidized one, that's our insurance, that we've trained people to say, sure, yes. Like, oh, is it covered? And getting away from prices. We also have an industry that is required by law to take care of people. And when you go, like, because you date a nurse, like, I've worked in collections, I've worked in healthcare collections, I've seen, like, the business office, like, the trillions of dollars every year that the hospitals write off, it's outstanding. Well, why is it that much? Well, a majority of people actually can't pay or don't pay how do you stay open? And so there is a problem, but essentially when I was like, the problem ends up being insurance. And so it ends up being this weird game where, like, okay, hey, oh God, we have a patient with insurance. We could keep the lights on. Now there's obviously, this is a factor of 100 million because it's like this is big business. There are lots of overheads. And you have to pay your doctors and your nurses and
copyright,
etc. The pharmaceutical thing is where it gets interesting. I have a personal bias against him because my dad was doing something really amazing in my opinion. Again, I could be completely biased. This is me as a kid. We lost everything as kids. We went from being I think what I would call wealthy. It was never my money. It was always my dad's. And we went to almost being homeless. Like, I don't know if I've ever shared this on the channel, and it was like it was so interesting for me to see the sides of like wealth and poverty and so closely intermingled. My dad, his mistake, he's such a good-hearted man, he could never learn how to fire people. And I looked at him as a kid and I was like, he's a CEO, he starts his own company, he always got paid last, so it's like we'd go months without getting paid, but then it's like, he'd get the things, and then he'd pay all, he made sure all his employees were paid, and then so he could probably get paid once a quarter. So money was really weird at that phase. But like, he pissed off the pharmaceutical company. So I have a real personal bias against the pharmaceutical company because he was going into these nursing homes, and he discovered the hospitals are spending a ton of money in extra care. So let's say you're elderly, you're in a nursing home, come to the hospital for pneumonia, they treat you for pneumonia, but you then develop X, Y, and Z. Well, Medicare will cover why you came into the hospital. They won't cover X, Y, and Z. Hospital has to eat that cost. So he figured, like, oh my gosh, like, one of the things we can do is let's treat people at the nursing homes so they don't have to come to the ER. One of the things that was causing the and-thens within the hospital healthcare system was as elderly, like, they might have dementia, they might have other issues, but they're in an unknown environment. And so they would end up being uncomfortable or nervous or scared, and thus it was easier for them to get other diseases and all of those kind of things. So he reduced that. He came in, and then he also brought in dentists and chefs to these nursing homes, and he totally improved the quality of life of these people, and he reduced dramatically the medications they need. So he got I'm not going to say the company, they're a big company. He got their attention, and they bought him out. And then they kept him on, and then they wrecked him. And it was just like, it was really interesting to watch that play out as a kid. Then,
and looking back on it, it was
the problem with that, like, we have so many heartless kind of moves, because at the end of the day, the people making those decisions are in a desk somewhere. They don't really have to look at the face of the people who are doing that too. That's a real problem, because I understand the disconnect. Like, for example, a YouTuber the other day commented how whenever a fan approaches him, it's really weird, because at the end of the day, he's just talking to a camera every day, so he doesn't really see them, and that's very the disconnection is real. I think that's the same thing. You don't really see a person's livelihood being completely destroyed. You see a bunch of paper where it says you're losing money.
As a society, that's the question that falls down to really us. What do we as a community, not just within the Work to Game, but within the state of Texas, the United States, the world, what do we want to do? I wish I had here's the easiest, or the smartest plan, but the system is so complex that it's kind of it's kind of eating itself as well. So it's just okay. Anyway, on that note, this has been an amazing conversation. I hope that we can continue it. Guys, check us out next Monday night. We'll be doing another community game night. You can check us over on Twitch if you follow us over there. Link is in the description. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for all the shares. Thanks for all the new subs. Thanks for all the cheers. You guys have been epic and fun. I'm going to go hang out with Julie. She just got home from her girls' night, And she's texted. She's like, "Come on downstairs, let's hang out." And I'm like, "I'm coming, I'm coming." She's like, "Yeah." I won't say it, but she's like, "BS. I don't think you're coming." I'm like, I'm coming. I'm just engaged in a really cool conversation. I'm just engaged in a really cool conversation. So I really appreciate everybody hanging out. Voice, Leland, Lamas, Jaster, Clink, and then everybody running content tonight. I love you all very much. And I'm going to see you guys next time. Thanks, everybody.
Good night. Go have
Good night.
fun.